this information is normal. In addition, there are some diseases that are more common as we age, and some of these impact brain function. Alzheimer's disease and other dementias result when the brain is compromised in some specific ways. Currently, there are no proven methods to prevent, cure, or even slow the progression of Alzheimer's disease. That being said, there are habits that help maintain or potentially improve overall health as we age. And these habits may also help keep your brain healthy as you age. Although this program isn't specifically about issues related to Alzheimer's disease or dementia, it is helpful to know some basic information about these conditions to understand how they relate to healthy aging and what we can do to help our brains and our bodies age as well as possible. So if you've heard the term dementia before, this is a general term that is caused by many different diseases, each with different symptoms. The symptoms of all these diseases have one thing in common. They compromise the way the brain works and cause a decline in memory or other brain functions that are noticeable enough to affect everyday life. Although dementia and the diseases under this umbrella term are associated with aging, they are not a normal part of aging, and if they were, everyone would develop them as they age, and we know this just isn't the case. Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia, accounting for 60 to 80% of all cases. Some of the risks for Alzheimer's include age, genetics, head injury, cardiovascular factors, and fewer years of formal education. Now, we'll discuss some of these risk factors in a little bit more detail later on in the program. And we'll also talk about some of the, well, we won't talk about, but I will mention, excuse me, some of the therapies that have been developed to help treat the symptoms for Alzheimer's disease. And they're effective in some people for a limited period of time. However, they do not necessarily slow the progression of the disease. As I mentioned before, the Alzheimer's Association offers many different programs and resources, both in person and online, where you can get additional information about Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. And if you'd like to know any of those resources, we can reach out to you directly, or you can reach out to us. Now, with that, we'll start to dive into the more specific pieces of today's program. At the beginning of the presentation, I mentioned that we'll cover 4 different areas relating to healthy aging. And these include physical health and exercise, diet and nutrition, cognitive activity, and social engagement. Throughout the next slides, we'll look at what the most current research tells us about changes we can make in each of these areas that can help our bodies and our brains age as well as possible. As we touch on each area, think about how you can apply this research to your own life. Consider how you can do what you enjoy, make gradual changes, and start now regardless of your age. Whenever possible, think about how you can make changes that affect more than one area at once to maximize the health benefits of your habits. So we'll start with the first piece of our pie, which will be physical health and exercise. There is quite a bit of research in the area of how physical activity affects brain health. Many studies indicate that engaging in physical activity is associated with lower risk of cognitive decline. So many researchers say that if people had to choose one thing to do to improve their brain health, it should be exercise. Some evidence suggests that exercise may directly benefit brain cells by increasing blood and oxygen flow, and by reducing other dementia risk factors such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol. There is no single recipe for what may work best, though. Most researchers believe exercise should be regular and on the more vigorous side, but other studies shown benefits from mild activities such as walking. Now, on this next side, we have a video and we'll see if my video is behaving today. If it doesn't load for us, I'll try to summarize to the best of my ability what Woodley would have been sharing with us. So let's see first if our video clip will load. Well, on my end, it doesn't look like it's loading today. I apologize for that technical difficulty, but that's just the nature of how we present these days. But I'd like to share that in this slide, Woodley would have discussed a little bit about how he has been developing new habits in his life. And he shared how surprisingly quickly you can develop a new habit if you're diligent about it. Progress comes with choosing to stick with the new behavior. And creating an exercise habit can begin with just 10 to 15 minutes a day of activity. The most important recommendation is to be as active as you can and to incorporate activity that you enjoy so you'll continue to engage in it. If this is new for you, make sure to start out small. Walk around your neighborhood a few times a week, take the stairs more often, or if you go to a shopping center, try to park your car further away from the entrance than you normally would. These little changes add up, and research shows that even 20 to 30 minutes of walking a few times a week can have great health benefits. Participate in cardiovascular activity regularly. Now, this is going to help increase the blood flow to your brain and the rest of your body, providing additional nourishment. Pardon me. Research has shown that for most people, any additional movement is a positive change that can have impact on overall health. Now, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention has developed recommended guidelines for physical activity, and you can find more details about the recommendations and how you can reach them at the CDC's website, which is cdc.gov, and you can search under their physical activity guidelines. Now, with any new program, we suggest that you move safely to prevent injury. Wear a helmet if you choose to go biking to prevent against head injury, and wear other protective gear when needed for other activities, such as elbow and knee pads if you go rollerblading. If you're able to, in a safe manner, ask friends to join you. This way, you can make it social, a benefit both for your brain and your body, and you'll be able to get support from continuing with your routine. It's always good to have someone hold you accountable, even if it's a virtual connection. Now, consider physical activities that may also be mentally or socially engaging, such as taking a group class, joining an exercise program, or a challenging sport. For me, that would be golf or tennis. I'm not very good at either of those. And before starting any of these programs, check with your doctor to be sure that it is safe for your particular health needs. And finally, remember that it's never too late or too early to start. No matter when you start, your body and your brain can still reap the benefits. Now, we did mention that there's some risk factors that can affect healthy aging, and we'll review those quickly on this slide. Studies have found that smoking increases the risk of cognitive decline and may increase the risk of dementia. Additional benefits of stopping smoking, including include a lower risk of heart attacks, stroke and lung disease, better blood circulation, and avoiding exposing others to secondhand smoke. Another risk factor could be alcohol and its many side effects. Although a glass or two of red wine is commonly thought to have health benefits, you should not start drinking wine if you don't already do so. And excessive drinking of alcohol has some serious negative consequences, including slower impaired communication among brain cells, fuzzy memory and drowsiness, long-term changes in balance, memory, emotions, coordination, and body temperature. It can be a big contributor to falls and fall-related injuries in older adults, and it can react negatively with many medications, leading to potentially dangerous or even life-threatening consequences. Now, one that I struggle with quite a bit as I work overnight is managing my sleep level, and it's always recommended to get an adequate amount of sleep. Inadequate sleep due to conditions like insomnia or sleep apnea can cause problems with memory and thinking. Now, just like with wearing a helmet to ride a bike, we recommend that you avoid any injury to your head. Head injuries and falls can contribute to physical and cognitive difficulties. Be sure to wear a helmet when riding a bike or playing sports that could involve a head injury. Studies have found that regular physical activity decreases stress, increases your ability to manage stress, and leads to better overall mood. Monitor your level of stress, take action to minimize it, and seek professional assistance to address anxiety, depression, or other mental health concerns. And as we'll commonly mention, make sure that you visit your doctor regularly to review any of the medications that you take and have them reviewed by that primary care physician at least once a year. And make sure you have a physician that you trust and have a regular communication line set up with them. Follow up on all recommendations, and this is one of the best things that you can do to maximize your health as you age. Growing evidence suggests that many factors that increase the risk of heart disease and stroke may also increase the risk of dementia. These include high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, and possibly high cholesterol. Although there is good research being done in these areas, more is definitely needed. Here's what we know. Research has shown an increase in the risk of cognitive decline and dementia among individuals with diabetes. Although diabetes has not been shown to cause Alzheimer's disease, there is a relationship between those who have diabetes and those who have dementia. Studies have also found that midlife obesity may have an associated risk of dementia. Research done on treatments to reduce midlife hypertension suggests that they may also reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Some studies have shown mixed results for the relationship between high cholesterol levels and dementia. We do know that a good cholesterol level is good for the heart, and what's good for the heart may be good for the brain too. The best way to combat these health concerns is to get your cardiovascular factors mentioned above tested regularly and work with your doctor. They'll be able to understand what the results mean for you and your overall health. Be aware of changes from previous levels to help determine whether changes are needed to help you stay healthy. African Americans, Latinos, and other ethnic groups that tend to have higher rates of high blood pressure, diabetes, and cardiovascular problems need to work closely with doctors to stay on top of any medical concerns. If you have any questions so far, please feel free to add them to the chat. But with this slide, we'll start to transition into our next section, which is diet and nutrition. Again, we know that a healthy fueling of the body benefits brain functioning, but there are many differing opinions about what is the best way to eat to maximize health. Research in the area of the relationship between diet and cognitive function is somewhat limited, but it does point to the benefits of two diets in particular. These diets are known as the DASH diet, or dietary approaches to stop hypertension, and the Mediterranean diet. So, the dietary approaches to stop hypertension, or DASH diet, is a flexible and balanced eating plan. Studies show that the DASH diet lowers high blood pressure and improves levels of blood lipids, or fats, in the bloodstream, which may reduce the risk of developing cardiovascular disease. Because the DASH diet is a healthy way of eating, it offers potential health benefits beyond simply lowering blood pressure, including reducing the risk of osteoporosis, cancer, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Now, the Mediterranean diet incorporates the basics of healthy eating along with other components characterizing the traditional cooking style of countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea. A research analysis of more than 1.5 million healthy adults demonstrated that following a Mediterranean diet could reduce the risk of death from heart disease and cancer, and may also reduce the incidence of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease. It's never too late to adopt a heart healthy diet. Studies show that making these changes even later in life may have benefits for your brain health. Now it looks like we have another potential video here. Let's see if Martha is going to share her message with us today. Well, I apologize. They just don't seem to be um, cooperating with us under this platform today. What Martha would have been sharing with us is how science has shown that there are foods that can help you age well, and diets can help you reduce risk of heart disease and may also be able to reduce your risk of dementia. So if you haven't taken note already, it's that DASH diet, which is dietary approaches to stop hypertension, or the Mediterranean diet, or a combination of the two. So, there are some simple ways to adopt a healthy diet that may benefit your body and your brain. We all probably know this, but it is a good reminder. On this slide, you can see suggestions that incorporate principles from both the DASH and Mediterranean diets. These include incorporating vegetables into your daily diet, eating those leafy greens like kale has been shown to have great health benefits. Eat a diet rich in fruits. Some studies indicate that certain fruits, especially berries, may be particularly helpful. Eat nuts, beans, and whole grains when possible. Eating meats, fish, and poultry, and other healthy proteins. And choose foods containing polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats, which are found in nuts, vegetable oils, and fish. Those are those healthy fats that we need. Now, aim for a diet low in saturated and trans fat. We suggest staying away from processed foods, deep fried foods, and excess sugar and salt. A healthy diet will help increase your intake of important vitamins, and some research has shown that vitamins, such as vitamin E or vitamins E and C together, vitamin B12 and folate, may lower your risk of cognitive decline and possibly Alzheimer's. This research has resulted in some suggestions that taking dietary supplements will lower your risk. Now, dietary supplements and nutraceuticals or medical foods are made for those with nutritional deficiencies and are to be used only under the supervision of a physician. Labels for these medical foods or supplements cannot make drug claims or state that they alleviate symptoms of diseases because they are not drugs as defined by the US Food and Drug Administration or FDA. Many are created with little or no regulation and may be potentially dangerous. Just beware of false claims. With all types of supplements, it's important to keep in mind that they are not without risk. They're made of chemicals that may interact with other medications in negative ways or may upset the way that your body works naturally. Although they may often cite research to back up their beneficial claims, the research has not been held to the rigorous standards required by the FDA. Even with emerging research to back up the claims, it can be difficult to understand what the research means for you. When getting information about a supplement or vitamin, check with a reputable source of information about what research has been done. And the best way to understand and address how to care for yourself is to discuss with your physician all of your options. Work with a trusted doctor who understands your physical issues well. He or she can provide the best advice about how to incorporate medications, vitamins, and dietary supplements and how they may interact in your body. It's important to discuss any changes in medication with your doctor. And with that, we'll jump on to our third piece of the pie, which is cognitive activity. And some feel like this is a pretty important piece of the puzzle as it relates to Alzheimer's and dementia. Now, cognitive activity is the term used for keeping our minds active. Anything that uses your mind in challenging ways is a cognitive activity and can possibly have short and long term benefits for your brain. As you use your mind in new and challenging ways, your brain actually begins to form and nourish new pathways for connections among your brain cells. The more pathways you have, the more nimble your brain is, and the better able you are to guard against the effects of injuries or diseases that may compromise brain functioning. Studies have been done in which some people engaged in cognitive activity by playing games or reading material that was challenging for them. Those who kept their brains active in these ways could recall information that was recently learned and remember it later to a much greater detail than those who did not keep their minds stimulated through mental activity. However, we do not know all the reasons why staying cognitively engaged may be beneficial. More research is taking place today to further explore those questions. Research has shown that engaging in formal education or classroom based learning administered by professionally trained teachers in any stage of life will help keep your brain healthy and can protect your brain from developing dementia. Some researchers believe that this may be due to education creating a more robust network of communication pathways between neurons in the brain. Others believe that the difference has more to do with educational levels being related to socioeconomic factors, which are correlated with risk for disease in general and access to medical care. So, up next would be a clip from Dr. David Bennett, who is the director of Rush Alzheimer's Disease Center in Chicago. He would be talking to us about research in the area of cognitive activity. He would cover how cognitive stimulation is defined as the mental processing of information. Cognitive stimulation has a positive effect on maintaining cognitive abilities throughout life, and it's important to incorporate cognitive stimulation into your life regardless of your age. So, how can we exercise our brains or keep our minds active? You'll be able to see some of the ideas that we have on this slide. Now, participate in mentally stimulating activities. For some of you, that could include building a piece of furniture, or trying a new cooking technique, or create something artistic. You could read books or articles that challenge and inspire you. You could make sure to focus on topics of interest that provide you with new learning or add to what you already know. So maybe you like to travel to a certain part of the world when it's safe to do so, of course. Maybe you could incorporate learning a bit of the language from that area or learning a particular craft that's special to that area that you travel to. Another suggestion is completing puzzles and playing games that are challenging. So, a very challenging and stimulating game could be chess or Sudoku or crossword puzzles. It depends on your skill level and how much you want to challenge yourself. So, this goes beyond just a common jigsaw puzzle or a crossword that could be fairly easy. But here we're talking about problem solving and working on things that might stump you, or figuring out ways to approach a familiar task in a different way. It requires that you think steps ahead and make plans for adapting to changes that an opponent may make in a game like chess or bridge. So, we suggest learning new skills or hobbies. You could try something new that interests you and that you find enjoyable. And you may want to learn to play a new instrument or take up a new hobby like watercolor painting or baking. Engage in ongoing learning. Now, you could enroll in a session such as the one today, or you could enroll in more formal education, possibly from a local community college. This could involve a new skill, a new topic, or a hobby. Also, encourage and help your children and grandchildren to get as much formal education as possible. Always promoting lifelong learning. Now, if you're so inclined, you could consider joining a club which is focused on a common interest. Maybe you like to go birding or do nature hikes. This would be of a double benefit. It would not only keep your mind active while engaging in a social activity. While brain training activities such as computer games that aim to improve memory and attention span are an exciting area of research, none of these activities are proven buffers against Alzheimer's disease. Be cautious of commercially marketed brain games with big claims and promises. One of the best ways to stretch your mind and help your brain be as resilient as possible is to consistently engage in activities that involve learning new things or solving problems. Be sure to choose an activity that you enjoy to increase the likelihood that you'll continue to engage in it over time. The final piece of the puzzle that we'll talk about is the social engagement aspect. Now, this one might be the most challenging for us during the pandemic, but it's also possibly one of the most important just to keep us feeling or from feeling isolation. So, there's the least amount of research in this area. However, there is some research that indicates that connecting with others socially may benefit brain health and may actually delay the onset of dementia. Those who are engaged with other people also tend to have reduced rates of mortality and disability. Now, researchers aren't sure how, why, or if social networks may help keep the brain resilient against Alzheimer's disease. Some scientists say that the traits that enable people to build and maintain friendships act as a buffer against cognitive impairment. Regardless of the reason, we know people don't do well in isolation. And when people are feeling good about their social networks, they tend to make healthier choices in other areas of their lives. These are a variety of ways, or excuse me, there are a variety of ways to connect with others and reap the physical benefits of social interaction. As always, pursue activities that are meaningful to you. And these will provide you with the greatest connection with those around you and will keep you engaged. Sometimes you can engage in an activity that combines areas of healthy aging, such as when you take a walk with a friend or volunteer to tutor a young adult. Find a purpose in your life, an activity or connection that gives your life a sense of meaning. For me, that's being involved with my yoga community. Staying socially active may be important in maintaining your overall health. You can engage with others without any financial cost if you're thrifty. When you can, choose social activities that have a cognitive or a physical component as well, so you can enhance the benefits you get from these activities. So here's a few suggestions that you can incorporate and modify however they fit safely into your life. You could consider getting together with a family member or friend that's in your bubble. We could try meeting new people, and there's a lot of great ways to do that through online forums right now. There's all sorts of great ways to be involved in your community, and volunteers are always needed. Could try taking a class, whether that's online or in person. And you could even consider joining a local walking club or book group. Now we'll try to put all of these pieces together and see how we can maximize the benefits. Each of the four components we explored has potential benefits for physical and cognitive health. Research, however, suggests that combining all of these activities may have the greatest benefit in maintaining or improving brain health. So we would have a video here from Dr. Bill Thies, who is a senior scientist in residence in the Medical and Scientific Relations Department of the Alzheimer's Association. In this video, Dr. Thies talked about a recent study that is making a difference in what scientists are able to tell us about healthy aging. Now, this study is from Scandinavia, and it tells us that when exercise, diet, social engagement, and mental stimulation levels were increased to a prescribed level, fewer participants experienced cognitive decline. Scientists are now moving towards saying that these interventions may make a difference. With more evidence emerging, they're able to say that they probably do, a major shift in the messaging that reflects the research. So here's what you can do now. We suggest that you take a holistic approach to wellness as you age. Consider your health across many components, including the physical, intellectual, social, spiritual, emotional, and vocational areas of your life. You can make simple changes that will have a cumulative effect, helping you live as long and as well as possible. So, there's no time like the present. Begin today. It's never too late or too early to start living a more healthy way. One of my friends is always a great inspiration in this fact. She'll go for a walk no matter what time of day it is, and she's always reminding me that there's really no excuse. You can get out there. Sometimes it's great to just be able to be present and go for a walk, and even if it's a little dark, you get to enjoy the stars that way. Now start small and build on your goals. Pick one area to start with and expand from there. And take your changes step by step. You can slowly add to your walk, maybe a couple blocks at a time. Now, we recommend that you do what you enjoy so that you'll stick with it. The more you enjoy the activity you've chosen, the more likely it is you'll follow up on your plan. And do something that you can manage in the time that you have available right now. And choose an activity you can stick with over time. Make healthy choices whenever you can by exercising, eating a nutritious diet, and reducing stress as much as possible. And consider making a plan. Utilize a workbook to document these goals and keep track of progress as well as obstacles that may hold you back, and think of any ways to overcome them. We also suggest rewarding yourself for small changes and overall progress. Now, if you're able, get support from others. Let other people know what the changes are that you're making. Engage in activities that have a social component and celebrate your victories together however you're able. And have fun. Be sure that the activities you choose are enjoyable and reward yourself for your success. Now, we'll think about being a savvy consumer. Aging can present health-related challenges that can take an emotional, financial, and physical toll. You can find many products on the market with medical or health-related claims that may be backed by an inaccurate or misleading research. These products and services may be expensive or time-consuming and can arouse false hope in users. Some may actually be dangerous to your health. Don't let your desire to find a cure or a quick solution to these challenges override your good judgment. These claims should be backed up by solid research. Research conducted with a large number of people, research that has been replicated, and that has been published in a peer-reviewed journal. Before trying anything new, consult with professionals who know your situation or who are reliable sources of information. Your personal physician is the best one to talk with about your needs and whether a product will be helpful or harmful to you. Your local pharmacist is also a great resource for information about drug and over-the-counter supplement interactions. And the Alzheimer's Association website at alz.org can also be helpful. The site offers up-to-date information on research. No matter whether you want information or support, or whether you have questions about memory loss or a dementia of any kind, or whether you're a professional, a researcher, a caregiver, or a person diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's disease, the Alzheimer's Association has resources for you and is available to help. In addition to live programs, we have a rich website at alz.org. The website can be visited to get tips about finding and providing care. You can find research information and tools about your well being. All of these can be found at alz.org. One of the online tools that is available through the website is the Alzheimer's Navigator. You can help map out a plan to approach Alzheimer's by visiting the webpage at alzheimersnavigator.org. This tool helps guide you to answers by creating a personalized action plan containing information, support, and local resources. You can then share your plan with your friends and family, linking them to the materials customized to your situation. By visiting the Community Resource Finder tool at communityresourcefinder.org, you can search for local community living services, day programs, medical resources, and more. Whether you're in the area or across the country, you can find services to help someone living with dementia and make the contacts you need to ensure their safety and comfort. Now, a rich supplement to our local support programs is ALZ Connected, which is an online message board with over 50,000 members who share their thoughts, questions, and ideas with each other 24 hours a day. Whether you're living with dementia or are close to someone who is, you can come on to read a post or share your concerns. Pardon me. You can let ALZ Connected help you develop plans, find support, and discover new coping techniques by connecting with others who are living with dementia or are partners in caring. Now, another tool is the 24/7 helpline, which offers dementia trained professionals to talk with anytime, day or night, every day of the year. You can call this helpline at 800-272-3900 when you need information about the disease and meeting its challenges, links to resources, or a supportive ear during a difficult time. We're here to help. The Alzheimer's Association has chapters all through the country where we offer educational programs, support groups, and much more. And to find a chapter anywhere in the US, go to alz.org/find us, where you can search by state or zip code. Once in the chapter's webpage, you can see what is being offered in that particular area. And finally, the Training and Education Center of alz.org is where you can access programs like this one from the convenience of home. Just go to alz.org/training and you can find programs and materials that offer the most current information about dementia. Now, if you aren't already, there are many ways that you can use your voice, your motivation, your interest, and your skills to help find new treatments and to enhance services for all people affected by dementia. Clinical trials research studies are being conducted all over the world to find treatments that are safe and effective. The Alzheimer's Association's Trial Match is a free clinical studies matching service that connects individuals with Alzheimer's caregivers and healthy volunteers to local clinical trials seeking participants. When you join a clinical trial, you have an opportunity to participate in vital research that could change the course of Alzheimer's disease and improve the lives of those it affects. Visit Trial Match online at trialmatch.alz.org or call the helpline at 800-272-3900 to start making a difference. Another option is the Walk to End Alzheimer's or the Longest Day, which are both opportunities for the local community to join together in the spirits of grassroots advocacy that is central to the mission of the Alzheimer's Association. Forming a team to support a friend or a family member is a direct way to show your concern for the person as well as for the cause, and those who live with the impact of the diseases in their lives are tremendously grateful. Now, we also encourage you to join us in providing education and support programs to families in your area who are living with Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Whether you are a person with the disease, a care partner, a caregiver, or a professional in the field, you can volunteer to use your knowledge and compassion to have a profound impact on those whose lives are affected by the disease. You can also join us to speak up for the needs and rights of people with Alzheimer's and their families, and to help persuade state and federal Congress to increase funding for research and programs. Many caregivers and people with the disease find the experience of being an advocate to be therapeutic, and it puts a human face on complex policy issues for our legislators. We need you to help us change the course for Alzheimer's disease for everyone affected, and we welcome you to join us in making a difference. Now, we do want to cover a few additional resources that are available for you. Excuse me, besides the Alzheimer's Association, there are many local area agencies on aging that are particular to your community. For example, there's a Dane County Aging and Disability Resource Center that would provide resources for my area. And there's chapters like that throughout the state. You can find tools like these through the Community Resource Finder at the alz.org website. Now there's also local senior centers, community parks and programs, and local health clubs, YMCAs and YWCAs that all offer programs on healthy aging and keeping you engaged through your local community. There's also tools through the National Institute of Health, their National Institute on Aging, which offers free and thorough information on their website. You can find the web address in the workbook. A couple of the tools that they offer are the What's on Your Plate tool, which is similar to the food pyramid that we used to utilize. And then there's also Go for Life, which offers insight about getting moving and staying physically fit and includes information about how to get started. Now, whether or not you live in a rural or urban area, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has cooperative extension offices near you. Each state and territory has a state office and its land-grant university and a network of local or regional offices. The staff at these offices can provide you with research-based information on topics such as consumer issues, food safety, nutrition, hunger, and health. And you can visit the U.S. Department of Agriculture's website to find an office near you. And there's also tools listed at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's website, which is cdc.gov. And with that, we come to the end of my presentation today. At this time, I'll remind you, if you didn't write it down already, the helpline number is 800-272-3900, or you can utilize the website at alz.org. And with that, I'll stop sharing my screen and we can open things up for any questions that may have come up throughout the presentation. No matter what, thank you all for joining me today. You're welcome to unmute yourself if you do have any questions. I'm just scrolling through the chat here to see if I missed anything because I couldn't see it before.
And you're welcome to put questions in the chat too if you're more comfortable that way.
Absolutely. But as I said, thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate you hopping on to learn all you can about healthy aging. It doesn't look like we have any questions here. So with that, you're welcome to end your session. And I hope you have a wonderful end to your day. Enjoy the sunshine if it's out where you are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy that sunshine while you can.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and warm out there today.
Delightfully warm.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you all. Take care. Be healthy.
Have a great day.
Thank you. All right. I will hang up now here. Thank you again, Hannah. Thank you, Kate. Have a great day, everyone.